Hello, fiber friends. I would like you to join me in basking in the wonderful satisfaction of finishing something. Because I finished this cardigan. Let's take a little spin down memory lane and remember where we started, because this project began with, it is historical to go out to your local area and gather seasonal dye stuff. Let's take a trip to the store. It smells like vinegar, and honestly, vinegar is the smell of Easter. I let that sit for a bit to make sure that the wool had sort of absorbed some of that. I dropped it in the water and hoped for the best because live dangerously, and it was exciting to me to do that. I'm gonna say, don't hold yourself back. Be creative, try all these different things. I was achieving my vibe, and that was exciting to me. And here they are. I am pretty sure that I can get one full garment, probably a top, maybe a little cardigan or something like that. Who knows when that will get done, but that's ultimately the end goal. What we need to do is get to a spinning wheel. I'm gonna try a couple different ratios. More fibers or less fibers, more twist, less twist. I mean, mud is dirt that's wet. It doesn't have to be bad. It means that I have to expect some of my colors to interact with each other in a narrow visual space. And you put it in stitches and you stand back from it, your eye is visually gonna kind of swirl that around. I'm pinching out my fiber and drafting it out, and then I'm letting go so that the twist moves in there. But I'm not smoothing that down, so as the twist goes in, it's incorporating a little bit extra loft into my yarn. Well, friends, I know which one is gonna be the correct gauge. I can feel it in my fingers. My singles are ready to apply for my samples. From this fabric to this fabric, this is, to me, an acceptable equivalent for this project. You can see it there on the bobbin. I like how these candy striping colors are coming together. Nothing looks too muddy. I'm going to have color stripes within the sweater when it's all knit up. That should be enough for me to have a lovely cardigan, but we'll have to check back in for that in the future sometime because it will take me a little bit to get that knit up. That's a big skein of yarn. Oh, it's so squishy. We're gonna do a fun project together before this video is done. And it's gonna go with this cardigan. It's gonna be really cool. I'm excited. Okay, let's first talk about the construction of this cardigan. I love this little clip that I got. It has little alligator clips on the back, and I have been using this on all of my shawls, and of course this cardigan, but it doesn't have to have the clip. And so this is how it looks without the clip. It hangs a little looser and more open, and that's fine, it's still comfy. I love it either way, but I really love the clip, so we're gonna do the clip. At least until I need the clip on a different shawl or cardigan, and then I can't find it when I wear this next, and then I'll just wear it open. That's how that's gonna work. I can see the future. It's like I'm psychic. This is not quite cropped. I did go all the way down exactly. It hits exactly at my waist, but it does have shorter sleeves and it doesn't close fully in the front, and it's not supposed to. I was super excited to find this pattern because number one, it was free, and we love that. And number two, this is a 2X that I was able to do with a pound of yarn. That means, well, okay, technically a little bit more because I used something different for the band, but here's the thing. You can do this little cardigan, it's adorable, with 2 8-ounce braids of fiber, and you can do this cardigan and then stash bust something that coordinates to finish the band. And that's it. And that's a 2X. You could probably get further if you were doing a smaller size. And it does go up to 3X. I don't fully consider that size inclusive. I wish they went up to a 5X. I think that's like, that should be standard. I wore this cardigan all weekend last weekend at the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival. Tons tons of fun, but I got so many compliments, and it was just so much fun to have chilly enough weather to wear some hand knits. We were in the mid to upper 60s, which was perfect for this. I wasn't too warm, I wasn't chilly, and the 3/4 sleeves, perfect. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. Let's talk about the construction real quick. It's a pretty simple raglan, and then top down, come back, add on the sleeves, come back, add on the band, which was perfect because I did something to make sure I wouldn't run out of yarn. Highly recommend. So top down, I came down and then I stopped, and I made sure when I was spinning, I had 2 sections of exactly the same amount of 2 colors so that I could have perfectly matched sleeves. I think I have a thing with sleeves. Who's with me? But you can see the sleeves totally line up, and I'm so proud when that happens. It's amazing. Then after I had the sleeves done and they matched and I knew how long they were gonna be and it was perfect, then I went back and I continued down the rest of the sweater until I completely ran out of yarn. If you look at the color scheme, the colorway here, you can tell from looking back at the 2 braids where the one braid that I dyed ended up down to here, and then where the other braid that I dyed ended up, which was sleeves and then the rest of it. Because that braid had, oh, there's hair. Of course there's hair. Are we good? Yeah. That braid had more of the oranges in it, and then the other braid had more of the greens in it. I think it looks cool. I love how this came out. I was worried at first that it would be too Eastery. I say that as I'm wearing a pastel pink dress, but this was thrifted and I still might dye it. The jury's out. But anyway, I was a little bit vaguely worried that using Easter egg dye was going to make my yarn very Easter egg colors, and that it would be hard to separate that color scheme from Easter, and I would have a garment that I would feel like it was a particular season, which, like, we're heading into fall. I'm gonna recognize that, but somehow fall is different than Easter spring pastels. One is getting darker, one is getting lighter. They're that sides of the year. So I don't know. To me, that's just like these associations I have in my head and how it works. So I was worried that this would be too Easter eggy spring pastel. Enough of the colors blended with the oranges and enough of the pink came out of it that I think it looks more fall than Easter. And that's fine with me. I'm happy with it. I'm happy I got these bright teals and lots of orange. Perfect. Thrilled. But then I wanted to make sure that the band that went around it would kind of, I don't know, I wanted it to sort of like frame the cardigan. I didn't want it to detract from the color scheme going on in the main fabric of the cardigan, so I wanted it to just be kind of a neutral. This is some Blue Face Luster, natural color. It was also spun by me. This has been like a 1.5 year long project and it's finished and I'm thrilled. To celebrate, I thought I should make another dress to go with my cardigan. What do you all think? Here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna have this dress done in like an hour. Really, we're gonna do that because I found this fabric at Joann's. This is a linen, yes, linen, a linen blend. Yes, blend, but linen. It has this shirring at the top, which makes it stretchy. The top is already finished. I just need to figure out how tight this needs to be to stay up, because we do want it to stay up. Cut it and do a seam, finish the hem on the bottom, and it's a dress. And that's it, and that's a whole dress. And I can wear it under my cardigan. What do we think? Like, this should take moments. I think the longest part that this is gonna take is ironing. And I could just do a French seam down the back and that would be all enclosed. And this is gonna be so cool. So let's make a dress. I'm just gonna stretch it around and see what is stretchy enough. I'm probably gonna put straps on it eventually because of like, you know, running up the stairs and stepping on your dress and then I have an idea to do an ankle woven band as the strap and then take the extra fabric that gets cut off to do like some flutter sleeves. I thought that would be so pretty and so simple, and it would incorporate some of my hand woven stuff. Anyway, let's measure this. Okay, this feels pretty secure. I'm gonna go pin it and then actually try it on just to be certain, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut it all the way to where the regular bunch of the fabric is. You ready? This part's so fun. The edge is a little bit frayed from ripping more than it would have been from cutting, but it's linen. If this edge was in the washing machine, it would have come out just like this, if not worse anyway, so that's totally fine. I am going to press this though so that I don't have wrinkles. I will pin it a little bit, and I think this is going to be a French seam. That's what it's gonna be. All right, let's get the bottom all set up as well. Do I want this to hang completely down to the floor or to be like ankle length? I think I want to go ankle length. I mean, I can always go shorter, right? So maybe I should even go a little longer. I'll go here. I think this is gonna be totally perfect. So I'm gonna grab a weft and I'm gonna pull. Yes, I could have just laid this out and rotary cut it with a straight edge by now, but this is kind of fun actually. So I'm gonna make it work. If you're wondering why I was able to rip it all the way down one way, but I'm plucking out the thread going the other way, that has to do with warp and weft. And that warp is much stronger. So if I rip it this way, I'd be ripping warp across all of the warp. And they are much stronger threads than the weft. When I ripped it top to bottom, I was ripping weft. The other reason is that if I were to rip it this way, if it was tugging on those warp threads, then it's gonna bunch and go up into the fabric that I don't want to bunch. That's the fabric that is gonna be the actual dress. Weaving stuff. Basically, it's just weaving stuff. But this is supposed to be a quick project, and here I am picking weft threads for a nice clean cut. Oh yeah, you can see that, right? Yeah, you can see that. Cool, that's gonna be real easy to cut. So let's cut it. I can even cut it while I'm sitting here and all the fabric is bunched up on the table. Understanding how weaving works is really useful. I would say in daily life, but I'm not sure most people are doing this in daily life anymore. But I'll just say useful and leave it at that. If you're working with clothes, I think it really pays, even if you don't weave yourself, I think it really pays to understand how weaving and weaving structures work, because it helps you understand the fabric and how the fabric works. Pretty cool. Let's go sew this baby up. Mark and I were on our way to go somewhere. He looked down one of the side streets in our neighborhood and made this very sharp turn to go down that street. He pulled over. I was like, what is going on? And he said, you see that desk over there? Okay, well that's cool. Let's load it up.
Hi.
Thanks for your discovery.
I have the eye for the curve.
You do. I don't know sewing machines as well as I know spinning wheels, but that's okay because Mark does, and he got it all fixed up for me.
So come away with me, nobody has to know where we gonna go. I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me.
Supposed to forage here, so I'm hiding them in my spinning basket. No one's gonna know.